Good morning. Charlie O'Hara back in the studio, here to answer your legal questions. Good to have you back.
Good to be here.
Okay, we have a couple on the line. We're going to go ahead and get to those so we can get to as many as possible. Good morning. You're on the line with Charlie. Go ahead. What's your question?
Hi, good morning. My ex-husband is in default of our divorce decree where he was supposed to pay the balance of my car off. He now lives in another state. What legal recourse can I take to get him to pay his debt, her divorce?
Well, I would assume that the divorce was here in Kansas, and if that's where you did the divorce, then that's where you're going to file the paperwork. So what you need to do, you can file it yourself. It's always better to get an attorney, but you need to go get an attorney and file with the judge to enforce that order. Your husband's going to have to come back here or get a hold of an attorney and defend that. If he owes that money, the judge will order him to pay it. Now, there is one thing that happens in the law. If you don't have any money, the judge, while he can order you to pay it, he can't put you in jail for not paying it or find you in contempt for not paying if you don't have the money. We don't have debtors' prisons here, so you've got to have the money to pay it or have a reasonable way to get it. But if he isn't paying something that he owes and he has the ability to pay it, the judge will order him to do it. If he doesn't do it, he'll be in contempt. If he still doesn't do it, he ultimately could be in jail.
Okay, good question.
Okay.
Thanks so much for calling in. Good luck with that. We have time now for another one this morning. Hi, you're on the line with Charlie. What's your question?
Yes, the question is, I was in a car wreck, and the owner of the other car was not in the car, but he had somebody driving his car. He did not have insurance, anything. Is he liable for my car getting fixed?
I mean, the person that I assume you're talking about the person that owned the car. The person driving the car would obviously be liable to get your car fixed if it was their fault. Now, I don't know whose fault that accident was. If it was your fault, then I don't think they're liable to repair your car if you're the one that caused it. But if they caused it, then obviously I think both of them would actually be responsible, the one person for letting someone drive a car without insurance and the other person for driving a car that caused the accident. So you'd have a lawsuit against both of them, and that's probably what you ought to pursue.
The reality in that situation, when you say a lawsuit, you can have a lawsuit, as we've talked before, anyone can file a lawsuit. Do you often get any retribution, any money out of these people who don't have insurance?
It really depends on the person. Some people obviously have money, and if you sue them, they're going to pay it or do whatever they need to do, or they have access to money, or you can hire somebody to collect it. Some people have no money, they don't earn hardly any money, and it's real hard to get money out of them. So it really kind of depends on the circumstances. There's a lot of people that we call judgment proof. They get a lawsuit against them, they file it, they owe you $100,000. You never get any money. Maybe you get $500 over 5 years. I don't know.
Okay, good luck with that then. Thank you so much for calling. We have time now for another one this morning. Hi, you're on the line with Charlie. What's your question?
Hi, yes, good morning. Yes, my mother was in an apartment building, and the lady underneath her caused a fire. She was, negligent. Yeah. And she was fined by the apartment building an amount, and my mother was awarded an amount against her. She is on disability. How can my mother go about getting the money she was awarded?
Well, I don't exactly know what awarded means. I mean, the apartment building fining somebody doesn't make a lot of sense. There may be some contractual obligations. If there's a contract and you owe the money and they're not paying the money, we're getting back to the same question we had before. You can go to court and enforce that judgment. If someone caused damage by negligence to your apartment and caused damage for you to lose money, then you can go to court and collect the damage that you've lost. If that person doesn't have any money, then you get into a problem whether you're going to get a loss, where you get a judgment and be able to collect it. So it really depends on the circumstances, but obviously your mother would have a way to collect that try to collect that money. Now, whether she ever gets it or not is another question.
Okay, thanks, Charlie. Good to see you again. We appreciate your time. Thanks so much. If you did not get on the line today, Charlie is back here next week when we come back on Eyewitness News, Entertainment News next.
Expect more on KSCW. This is Eyewitness News This Morning in high definition. Online at kwch.com. Follow KWCH on Facebook and Twitter.